Howdy people. It's a fog day and there's no segue. Diseases are an integral part of survival mode in Fallout 4. There is a chance of contracting a disease after eating uncooked meat, drinking unpurified water, taking damage from disease-ridden creatures, and using harmful chems.
Ich hatte grad voll den Spaß. Dachtest wohl, du könntest dich verstecken, was? Du musstest unbedingt den Helden spielen, was?
Diseases convey a general drawback after contraction. Items that cleanse the body of radiation also come with the side effect of a suppressed immune system, leaving one more vulnerable to contracting a disease. Only one disease can be obtained outside of survival difficulty, otherwise, the other 6 diseases require survival difficulty being active to contract. Diseases can be cured by visiting a doctor and paying them to remove it. Alternatively, antibiotics can be used to get rid of diseases. Furthermore, prophylactic herbal remedies can be crafted at chemistry stations to lessen the chances of contracting certain diseases in the first place. Gathering wild plant life is an essential requirement for the production of these remedies.
October 22nd, 2077. I finally told them tonight, and it was bad.
Perfekt.
Real bad. Dad was shouting, telling me I should be ashamed, that I had to get out of the house. Mom just cried, and somehow that hurt worse than anything else. She didn't say a word, not even when I packed my things. I can't go to John. He doesn't even know yet.
Psst.
Maybe he'll never know. If it weren't for the cabin, I wouldn't have a place to sleep. Just need some time to think. Last time I was here, I was just a little girl playing Clubhouse in this old cabin. Now I'm really scared. Will anything ever be right again?
The chance for contracting a disease is determined by a digital dice roll, depending on the so-called disease risk pool.
With all the time I spent cracking their hole, I was kinda hoping there'd be section encryption. Turns out complex. There's section, one of the old water pipe that runs its entrance is underwater, cooling water to high radiation danger. I did manage to pull the info and use this holotape to teleport everybody into the Institute.
These people were mocking me earlier for the appearance of my vault suit. The so-called disease risk pool is a cumulative indicator of the current risk of the character becoming diseased and starts at 0, accumulating percentage points from various environmental and food drink sources. Food always adds plus 1% to the DRP. Foods can also have a low disease risk, standard, high, or very high. Drinking Nuka-Cola adds plus 2% to the DRP. Chems add plus 7% to the DRP. These include Buff Out, Calmex, Daddy-O, Day Tripper, Fury, Jet, Med-X, Mentats, Overdrive, Psycho, and Excel. Fighting infected enemies will add plus 5% to the DRP if hit in combat. Swimming in contaminated water will add plus 3% to the DRP. The effect stacks every 2.4 game hours. Exposure to rain adds plus 3% to the DRP every 12 hours. When the DRP reaches the threshold of 25%, it starts rolling for diseases. All items that cause immunodeficiency to add 20% to the global chance to contract the disease for the duration of the effect and add a separate plus 5% to the DRP. The DRP decays at a natural rate of minus 1% per game hour. If the game rolls a disease, it is added as an effect and the player character receives a grace period. They cannot contract another disease for the next 24 hours. When the game rolls for disease, the disease dice roll needs to be lower or equal to the current DRP. All diseases have a 5 to 90% chance of occurring. If the player character has taken the appropriate herbal remedy, the value must also be higher than the so-called boosted immunity threshold to get this disease. This lowers the general risk to whether the player character gets a disease with each risky action. Every disease has a chance floor and ceiling to be contracted, which will always drain to the floor value. I tried these systems, and as far as I can tell, they work just as described, sometimes even with ironic precision. These diseases will force you to spend days barely getting by and stumbling from bed to bed if you want to survive without proper medication. But to be honest, I'm wearing the dress to get better prices. I'm not proud of it, all right, but I need these antibiotics to stop having to run for a bed every 2 minutes because the infection is killing me. I will continue to try and sweat it away, but I'm keeping the antibiotics as a last resort. Overencumbrance deals periodic damage to the player, just as the infections do. Adding to the pain it causes, it also breaks the player's legs. There is insomnia that causes sleep to be 50% less effective, thus forcing the player character to sleep at least 4 hours instead of 2 to deal with sleep deprivation.
Das Schloss sieht stabil aus.
Next is lethargy, which reduces regeneration speed of the player's action points by 50%.
Hey.
Fatigue makes the player's body accumulate sleep deprivation twice as fast, forcing the player character to sleep twice as often. Parasites causes all food consumed to sate nearly 50% of hunger. Since you're not just eating for yourself anymore, which is disgusting to think about. Weakness is a real nightmare, causing all incoming damage to be increased by 20%. Last up is infection, which causes your character to take periodic damage. Just as I do. Thank you so much for watching. What a time to be an infected hoarder amidst the infected hordes.